Using On1 Photo Raw, we're going to make a photo look a little painterly. Now, is this a perfect effect? No. Is it a fun effect? Yes. And that's why I want to showcase it here today on the channel. So, if you would like to follow along, consider joining the FreeWill Photos Academy. A link to do so is down in the description box below. Now, of course, if you like to pick up On1 Photo Raw and save a little bit of money, consider using the coupon code or the affiliate link down in the description box below. It'll save you some money on checkout, but I do make a small commission from everyone who uses it. It's at no extra cost to you. It's a win-win and a great way of supporting this channel. Now, let's jump into On1 Photo Raw and figure out how we can make a photo look a little painterly. Here we are inside of Photo Raw 2026, and I want to be very clear in saying I chose this photo specifically because it already has a very dreamy-like background. And so when you are creating your images, think about the type of photo that you're trying to make look painterly. All right. Now, paintings come in so many different versions and types. So the one that I make here today may look a little bit different. But when we get into the real editing, I'm going to show you kind of a cheat code here. All right. And so all I've done so far is I've activated Brilliance AI. This is what the photo looks like coming straight out of the camera. And this is what Brilliance AI has done to the photo. And so if I come over here and click on local, by default, I would want to click background if I wanted to select the background. Now, this image, unfortunately, does not work well with the background selection tool, and that's okay. A lot of people think, well, if it doesn't work, then all is lost, but that's not true. We're going to hit OK, and I'm just going to close this out. We're going to click on More, and then we're going to come down to Quick Mask AI. We're going to click Add Default, and this gives us the Quick Mask AI selection tool. And all you have to do is drag a rectangle or a square or whatever shape to cover your subject. We're going to click there, and then we're going to commit this to the mask. And what this allows us to do is we can copy and paste this mask throughout, and that's what we're going to do on a few occasions, all right? But the first thing I need to do is invert this mask, but I'm going to copy it so that way I have just the selection of the leaves, all right? And then I'm going to right click on the mask and hit invert. I'm going to pull down on the exposure to darken it, but I'm also going to saturate the background because I think that a painterly look usually has a little bit more color in the background going on. And then I'll even add in a little bit of vibrance, and I'm going to throw in some contrast to separate those colors just a little bit more. And this looks like a bit much, but we can always come back and readjust this later. So now that I have my background kind of primed and ready to go, let's create this effect. We're going to come over to the effects section, and the first thing that I need to apply is a canvas. And so I'm going to come over here to textures, and then I'm going to click on category, and we're going to come to the paper category. Now, the very first selection, and by the way, these are all built into On1. And so if you have On1 Photo Raw, even if you have an older version of On1, you will have access to these categories inside of the texture filter. And so the canvas aspect is the very first one, but we have a few options in here, and you can choose the one that makes the most sense for your type of work or the painterly look that you want to go for. But I want to start with canvas. So I'm going to click there, and we're going to select canvas. Now, by default, it's set to subtle, and subtle is okay, but I like to put it to normal and then increase the opacity. This is going to give us the most amount of texture, and it really does start to build that painterly type of look. All right. And you can mess around here with the tone and color of the texture that you're applying. So if you want to darken things down, you can grab the brightness slider and darken it or brighten it. It just depends on what your image needs. For this particular photo, since I already did that in the background, I don't think I need any additional work when it comes to this. All right. And so I'm going to leave that alone, and I might actually darken it down just a little bit. And that's going to help with the brightness on the little leaves here. And so Now I'll minimize that one, and I need to add in another texture. So I'm going to hit add filter, click on textures, and come over here to the category for what's inside of On1. We're going to go back to paper, and I realize I'm moving a little quick here. So if you'd like to, you can definitely pause the video as you work through this if you're following along. But I'm going to keep moving relatively quick, but I just want you to kind of get the idea. All right. And so this time, instead of canvas, what I'm going to do is come to palette knife. Now, this is one of those textures that it does make it look more painterly. And that's one of the things that I enjoy about this particular tool. And so if I go with normal, you can see how that starts to come through. Now, my favorite aspect whenever I start working and making things look a little bit more painterly is using dynamic contrast over the top, over the two textures really, but over the top. And that's just going to help with the indentions of the markings that we're using. So I'm going to hit add filter, and then I'm going to come to dynamic contrast. And with dynamic contrast, by default, you can see it's already giving more definition, maybe a little too much definition. And so I'm just going to pull down on the opacity, maybe to about here. And then if I turn this off and turn it on, I don't know if it's coming through on YouTube compression, but it looks like it makes more sense for me. Now, what I'm realizing is these leaves are just way too bright. The background's really dark. The leaves are really bright. And so we're going to come back to local, and I'm just going to click on brush because I have a mask already on my clipboard. And I am going to right click on the mask icon here. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit paste. This is going to select just the leaves, and I'm going to pull down on the exposure. And this is the beauty of working inside of a program like On1 to do things like this, because you really aren't stuck to one linear workflow. You can work on different aspects of the image as the necessity to work on that area comes up. And that's essentially what I ran into. The leaves were too bright, and so I wanted to adjust that using a local adjustment. And by the way, local adjustments, they happen to the image as if there is a linear process of the image being impacted. Local adjustments always are applied to the image first before the effects module starts to apply to the image. So essentially, I'm working under the hood of all of the effects to send something into the effects module. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, I have a video that I'll leave linked down below. It just explains kind of the process that On1 uses in order to modify your files as you work with them. And so now I think that I have successfully created something that looks more painterly. And is it completely done? No. Could I do more? Yes, but that's where you start getting into layers and masking and things of that sort. And I'm not going to go into that in today's video. If that's something you are really interested in, leave a comment down below and I will gather all of the assets, because I don't even have them all installed on On1 right now in order to showcase that. But if that is something you're interested in, then by all means let me know and I'll get those assets and create the content. But let's take a look at the before. This is the before straight out of camera, and this is the after version of this particular image. And what I'm realizing here is I have like a really weird black spot, and so I believe that's coming from this background adjustment. Let's see. Yeah, the background adjustment is what's causing that. And so let's pull back on the contrast just a little bit. And again, this is why working in a software like On1, it just gives you so much flexibility and capability. Like when I realized that, I was able to fix it on the fly in real time. So that's just the benefit of using a tool like this. So again, here's the before. and here is the after. If you found value in the video, smash the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. If you like to learn how to use On1 Photo Raw and get very specific help with a workflow for you, consider signing up for a one-on-one training call. A link for that can be found in the description box below. And again, if you'd like to save some money when you shop over at the On1 store, consider using my coupon code FreeWill Photos 20 or the affiliate link in the description box. I do make a commission from everyone who uses it, but that's at no extra charge to you. It's a win-win for everyone involved. So until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.